Windblade! Is this an answer from this world? reward on the road.
Wait. I hear something ominous in the wind.
Oh! This must be another one of those sounds that only you can hear. As sketchy as that whole thing seems, you did put it to good use when we were chasing down that vision thief at Beto's tournament, so...
Now I'm picking up a strong scent in addition to the sound. It's right around here somewhere.
But there's nothing here.
It's gone now, but I can still sense the direction it left in. It felt very much like that ancient presence in Inazuma. The remnants of the Tatarigami. Indeed. But this unexpected spring of inauspicious energy may prove to be of benefit to our investigation. We should remain vigilant and approach slowly.
Huh. So it's an underground warehouse.
The force is definitely coming from down below. The source of the Tatarigami energy has long since left this place. But the residue it left behind still hasn't dissipated completely. Judging from the concentration, I would have to conclude that the Tatarigami source resided here for a very long time.
Mrs. Nagato said her husband used to hang around the warehouse by himself a lot.
It could well be that he was already under the influence of Tatarigami energy at that time. From what I've been told, Tatarigami does not turn all upon whom it preys into violent monsters, but most will develop a stubborn streak upon being exposed to the Tatarigami's unfulfilled will. Their interests become fanatical obsessions. Mr. Nagato had an interest in collecting to begin with. The influence of Tatarigami could explain why he became an obsessive hoarder, amassing more and more possessions, even as he put himself in grave debt.
So what should we do now? Go down and take a look?
Step back. I'll open the door and take a look inside. If we don't open this door, we can move no closer to the truth. You needn't worry. Both of us have faced far greater dangers than this. Relatively speaking, the risk here is trivial.
What's down there?
Everything's buried in debris. I can't see anything. It looks like the fire caused a cave-in, reducing the entire warehouse to rubble.
That was too scary! Paimon was so sure that the warehouse boogeyman was about to jump out at us!
All we can do now is keep searching in the direction that the Tatarigami energy source left this place. Two ordinary humans, entangled with the Tatarigami. I fear much misfortune has already befallen them. Yes, let's go. If nothing else, it's vital that we find out where this Tatarigami energy is coming from. Quiet your mind and focus on what you sense around you. Perhaps you too will perceive its ominous presence in the wind. From this point, the trail appears to split into two. The main source of the Tatarigami energy continued on into the distance, but a small portion remained here and seems to be dissipating slowly. Quite possibly. Let's search the area.
Whoa! Look at all those hilly churls! They're acting really strangely.
Something seems to be drawing their attention. Let's take a closer look.
Groba, get them!
Wind blade! With the wind! Yeah!
It's...
Ugh! Look at this red stuff! What is it?
By the looks of it, a letter written on a piece of torn clothing. The ink is bone dry. It must have been written quite some time ago. Well, let's take a look. According to this letter, a conflict arose because Amenoma Yuya wanted to seize a blade belonging to Mr. Nagato. Yuya started the fire that destroyed the warehouse and wounded Mr. Nagato in the fight. Mr. Nagato kept chase as long as he could, eventually stopping here to write this letter when his strength gave out.
So, where is he?
He was not only mortally wounded, but also under the heavy influence of Tatarigami. Add to that the fact that its aura seems to have attracted a horde of monsters, and I'm afraid he may no longer be with us. Whatever traces there may have been of his fate beyond after this point, they've since been disturbed by the hilly churls. There's nothing more for us to find here. Yes. Right now, we need to uncover some more important truths. If Amenoma Yuya is attacking other people indiscriminately, then the longer we take to find him, the more people risk meeting the same tragic end.
Right, so let's get moving.
I wouldn't be surprised if he, too, fell prey to the influence of the Tatarigami. For a practitioner of the martial arts, the easiest desire to inflame would be their pursuit of further power and skill. All the clues that at first seemed disparate and disconnected, it seems that now we know the thread that runs between them. I have a hypothesis that, if it's correct, not only explains the series of events leading to the two men's disappearance, but also zeroes in on the attacker's identity.
Wait, you figured it out? So these two cases are connected after all?
I believe so. But it's something of an outlandish idea. I will only be able to confirm my suspicions once we've met him in person. On with the search. We must stay vigilant. At any point now, we may find ourselves in danger. He seems to have stayed here for a long time.
Why here? Is there anything special about this place?
I'm not sure. But on closer examination, I sense that the aura may have lingered here at several different points in time.
Show yourself! It's no use hiding anymore.
Kaede Harakazua. It's you, at last.
Aha! So it is the same guy from before! What's your problem, huh? What could you possibly have against Kazuha?
Indeed, there should be no enmity between us. If it is Ame Yuya that stands before us. But what if instead of facing Ame Yuya, we are in fact facing the blade in his hand?
Now that you mention it, it is giving off a strange light. Whoa, whoa! Surely you don't mean... Are you serious?
Tatarigami energy often lodges itself within physical objects, then works to subtly affect any living organisms in its vicinity. The blade has resided in Mr. Nagato's warehouse for many years, affecting his state of mind, and more recently using the sale as a means to affect, or rather as a means to occupy, Ame Yuya's body.
You're sharper than I thought. You've already deduced the truth of the matter. Many, many years ago, I was forged by a famed bladesmith of the Ishin tradition. I was his pride and joy. In me, he placed all his hopes and dreams. As a descendant of the Kaedehara clan, you should be able to guess our greatest regret.
I presume it has something to do with the Raiden Gokaden.
Indeed. At that point in time, he failed to live up to the Raiden Shogun's expectations. In the end, all he could do was to flee the nation by sea on a ship bound for Snezhnaya. He was a bladesmith of great renown, a master of his craft. There was nothing that he could not accomplish. All he needed was more time and a little faith. And sure enough, in the end, he achieved what he had set out to do. All of his life's work, his wisdom, his skill, it culminated in his creation of me. He not only bestowed upon me the greatest of strength, but also endowed me with a consciousness of my own. In her conceit, the Raiden Shogun lost not only the single most perfect blade in the entire world, but also an irreplaceable achievement in the art of blade forging.
So... swords can become conscious and control people?
The people of the time in which I was born never believed I had that kind of power. They saw me as a mere blade, a sharp and well-crafted one, but in all other respects an ordinary weapon. But that gave me the opportunity to take action. After the death of my creator, I decided to leave Snezhnaya and began my long quest to return to the distant land of Inazuma. Moving from one person to the next, I controlled the minds of countless hosts along the way, each bringing me one step closer to my ancestral home. I seek but one thing: to face the full force of the Raiden Shogun's blade and prove my power, the might of Ishin art.
Ah, so Amenoma Yuya was not your first victim. Tell me, what happens to those you've possessed when you've finished using them?
My hosts? Who cares what happens to them? They are but tools that serve my mission. When they got tired, or injured, or unusable, I hopped to the next one in line. All I needed them for was to take me back to Inazuma.
You're awful.
After I returned to Inazuma, I decided to bide my time in Nagato's warehouse until Amenoma Yuya handed himself over to me on a silver platter. At long last, I'm approaching my journey's destination. By Amenoma Yuya's body, I have found you, and by your hand, I shall defeat the Raiden Shogun. Kaede Harakazuha, you stood against the Raiden Shogun's Muso no Hitotachi. There can be no other to serve as my host for what is to come. Now, give your body over to me! Join me and sever
No one
that
escapes
divine
my
light!
sight.
Wind strike!
Do not stand in my way, or I will strike you down too!
Your bluff's fooling no one. You've lost.
Lost? I can never lose. It is this body that has reached its limit, nothing more. Even if you defeat me here, the one who falls will not be me, but this man. He is but a puppet that can be replaced. I can take a new vessel at will. The end result is the same! I will end this wretch's life before you can lift a finger! And even if I were to lose my physical form, it is but a small setback. My consciousness shall endure. By any means necessary, and any medium available, I shall return and fulfill my destiny!
Your fighting style. It is indeed the forms of Ishin art. But from your movements, I sense only hatred and arrogance, as well as a thinly veiled mania and despair.
Really? You can tell all that just from his moves?
As I've mentioned before, the forms of Ishin art convey the user's thoughts and feelings. Since the blade is currently possessing Amenoma Yuya's body, its movements express the innermost thoughts of the blade. If you ask me, the mania is probably due to your desperate, single-minded ambition. You believe I am your only hope.
Are you trying to claim that I am helpless without you? On his deathbed, he passed to me all of Ishin art's secrets. The little that you know barely scratches the surface. In that regard, why would I ever need your help?
Because all of that is in the past. I've been wondering why you've not caused more trouble in all the years that you've been in Inazuma. If you are indeed a cursed blade that can possess its owner. Now that I've seen inside your mind, everything finally makes sense. You weren't biding your time. You were trapped. After all the time that's passed, you have grown weak. To the point that you are now unable to acquire a new host without making physical contact.
Oh, that's That's right. Paimon remembers now. Mr. Nagato had a habit of never touching his collectibles.
Only when Mr. Nagato witnessed his wife's distress and decided to sell his collectibles did you finally have an opportunity to reach out to Aminome Yuya and make your escape.
And what of it?
Well, that brings me to my second point. There's a despair in you that is so strong it threatens to overwhelm you. You were determined to fulfill your maker's ambition, whatever the cost. But I think you realized your limitations long ago. The more you clenched your teeth and pressed forward, the greater your fear of losing everything you had achieved grew, and the more you wished to run from the truth. But the way I see it, what began as an ambition has long since become a delusional fantasy.
What would you know about any of this? I'm just one step away from achieving my goal!
You returned to Inazuma to prove the unparalleled brilliance of Ishin art. But to make this arduous journey, you committed countless atrocities and showed a blatant disregard for human life. Even if you were to sever that divine light, is this truly the outcome that your maker would have desired?
You...
Sure, you inherited the secrets of Ishin art. But even as you made your journey to honor this legacy, you treated the ones who wielded you as mere tools to do your bidding. How could you possibly unleash the full potential of Ishin art when you act in perfect discordance with the principle of harmony between a blade and its bearer?
Silence, you blabbering fool! I must achieve my goal. This was his life's dream, and the very purpose for which I was brought into being. I will concede that you are most perceptive. You see my predicament clearly. But you also underestimate my resolve.
And you should face reality.
Easy for you to say. Facing reality offers me nothing. I have no need of anything that would stand in my way. Not hesitation, not self-reflection, and certainly not your so-called reality. It is pointless to argue further, descendant of the Kaedahara clan. If you wish to save this man, then offer me your body in exchange.
How stubbornly you stick to your wayward path. I do not believe for a second that you can challenge the almighty Shogun in your current state. So let us make a bet, and I will put your strength to the test.
What? Surely you're not planning to agree to his demands.
Very well. Then find yourself some enemies with whom you wish to cross blades. A taste of my power will more than convince you. Once we have dealt with them, we shall proceed to Tenshukaku.
And as for your end of the bargain, if you lose, you must release Aminome Yuya from your control.
I accept.
Don't do this, Kazuha!
This is the only way to save Aminome Yuya. If we don't do this, he'll forever be the Blade's puppet. The Cursed Blade's strength is currently very weak, and I sense he's hesitating. This suggests his heart is still not completely devoid of honor. The power of the Tatarigami lies in intensifying existing obsessions. This is the reason Mr. Nagato and Aminome Yuya fell prey to it. Since I don't have any similar kinds of obsessions, I should be able to put up some resistance for a while.
But even so...
Even if things take a turn for the worse, I still have you both here with me. We have a chance here to save an innocent victim. I am willing to accept the risks entailed.
Your disdain for me betrays your woeful ignorance. I agreed to this bet because there are things I wish to learn too. Now, take me in your hand.
I'm okay. I felt a little dizzy at first, but only for a moment. It's all right. So far, this was as I expected. I will. Thank you.
What should we do next? Have you got a plan, Kazuha?
We find some enemies. Although this blade has endured much turmoil, it probably hasn't experienced many real fights. If a blade built for Ishin art cannot enter a state of harmony between blade and bearer, it cannot unleash its true power. If he wants to avoid reality, then we need to fight until he has no choice but to face it. He shouldn't last long in an intense combat situation.
Wait a minute! Paimon remembers hearing about something from the Adventurers Guild. Since the Takasukasa clan abandoned that secret base, it's been held by Ronin ever since.
Ah, all right. Please lead the way.
What about Amano Mayuya? What should we do with him?
The blade says he'll let Amenoma Yuya trail us silently. Although he hasn't regained his own consciousness yet, he is not in any immediate danger.
Are we sure this is a good idea? It's a pretty treacherous journey. Okay, fine. Just be careful.
Leave everything on this journey to me.
Let's get down to business. How's this? Let's get down to business.
One with nature. Fallen leaves, adorn my night.
To the ferry.
Into the wind.
How are you feeling? You okay?
I'm all right. The blade is performing largely as I expected. Having gone so long without proper use and maintenance, it's become very difficult to use. Though he's making every effort to persevere, I do not think he can last much longer.
Something else on your mind?
How strange. Rather than trying to control me, he is instead trying to match my fighting rhythm. Let's keep going.
Time to go.
The ferry. Finally got to the ferry. It's my lucky day. There's more.
The wind knows me. Clouds high.
The birds call.
To the ferry.
Something's up with the blade.
I can sense that his strength is slowly fading away. The blade is becoming more and more difficult for me to wield. He cannot hold out much longer. If he keeps persisting, he will likely break apart at any moment.
But what would that do to Amanome Yuya?
I will be careful with it. He also says he does not have any plans to give up easily. He's still trying to achieve his goal.
The wind knows me.
Fall before me!
That hurts! One with nature.
Are you okay? It looked like you were really struggling the entire fight.
Yes. And it looks like he's reached his limit.
The sheen's grown a bit dimmer again. It doesn't look anywhere near as impressive as it did at the start.
Perhaps this time, we'll finally have a chance to see his true form.
True form? What are you talking about? Huh? What the? Is this the same blade as before? It looks like a piece of junk!
If you choose to continue in the state you're in, you wouldn't even be able to beat Samurai and Kairagi, much less the almighty Shogun. Maybe you did truly wield power to rival the Shogun's light when first forged. But the long journey from Snezhnaya back to Inazuma has left you battered and broken. It barely needs stating anymore. Your ambition is a flight of fancy. I've finally figured out why it was that you agreed to my bet. You wanted to reach a state of harmony with me. For perhaps then you would still be able to wield commendable power. But regrettably, we are nothing alike. I will never understand your obstinacy and cruelty, nor can I empathize with the one who made you. The only one who truly understood you had already passed away by the time you were born.
Huh? What's that supposed to mean?
Here they are! Take them down!
Where do they keep coming from? Yup, we can help this time.
Don't worry. I'll use my own blade. It's just more of the same.
Let's get down to business!
Into the wind. Wind strike.
You fought way better with your own sword.
You are a true Kaedehara in flesh and in spirit. Though we fought briefly together, you have seen me for who I really am. No one knew anything of my story throughout my travels, nor did I tell it to anyone. You are the first person to know the truth. I thought that if I could achieve Ishin harmony with you, perhaps there would still be a ray of hope for me.
But in this too, you have failed.
Indeed. No matter how hard I tried, I could not attain that perfect harmony that your personal blade does with you. Too much time has passed. My physical state is poor, and without proper maintenance, I can only disguise my true appearance behind an outer sheen. Yours is the blade that took on the Muso no Hitotachi. And what a magnificent blade it is. Perhaps I shall never reach that level of glory.
Actually, this is just a generic blade that I picked up during my travels in Liyue.
What?
Forging and maintenance are both important for a blade, but they are not everything. This blade has traveled the land with me for many years, and we have formed a close bond during that time. Plus, in the moment that I most needed it, I received aid from another power. Skill, blade, determination, and desire. All these must be aligned in the practice of Ishin art. There is something else I must tell you. Though your maker may not have been aware, your ability to possess your own consciousness derived from the power of the Tatarigami. Tatarigami is a malevolence from the ancient past. It is the source of your mania and savagery. Though you tried to cooperate with me while I was wielding you, the part of you driven by Tatarigami was constantly trying to seize control of my body.
I sensed it, but I couldn't change it. It is an integral part of my consciousness.
I resisted its temptations because I wanted to save Amenoma Yuya. But I do not know whether you yourself have any intention of trying to fight it. I feel a great sense of regret for you. Since you embarked on a journey bound for a destination you were destined never to reach. The moment you embarked on this journey, you lost the only person who could have ever unleashed your true potential. And yet there was no way for you to turn your back on his ambition. You have known this for a long time. It is the true source of your despair.
He gave me everything. My life, my form, my consciousness, and purpose. How could I possibly deny him his wish? I said to him, "Do not worry, from here on I shall forge your legacy." How could I go back on my word?
Aww.
I believe our bet is now settled. I have nothing further to say.
Where are you going, Kazuha?
He now has neither the ability nor the motivation to cause further harm. Let's give him some time to reflect on things. When I touched the hilt for the first time, it's as if I was transported to a strange dimension. It was somewhere I've never been. A bladesmith lay quietly on the bed, his frail face barely visible under the moonlight. His breaths were weak, and his life near its end. A newly forged blade lay by his side, listening attentively to his final words.
Wow. That was the Blade's memory, wasn't it?
Indeed. While in exile in Snezhnaya, the bladesmith eventually learned the truth behind everything that had happened. The Ishin art had been dealt a devastating blow by the desertion of its best smiths. He spent the rest of his life in the forge, not to vent his frustration and hatred, but to atone for his actions. He felt intense regret at being tricked by the Fatui, but he could never again return to his homeland. His sole wish was to one day return his single, proudest creation back to the land of his birth. So he instructed this sentient blade to find a way back to Inazuma, no matter how long or how hard the journey. But he never wished to rival the gods. All he wanted to show was that they once shone brilliantly as blade and smith, that they were still worthy of being trusted.
So that's the true story. But after that, the blacksmith's intentions were warped by the Tatarigami, slowly turning his proud creation into the cursed blade of today.
Right. I believe the bladesmith might never have known that the power he worked with was that of the Tatarigami. The hatred within that power is what sent the blade down its ill-fated path. This blade has committed unforgivable atrocities, but only because it lost its original master. No one was there to correct its errors when it was losing its way.
Shame it's too late now.
Yes, it is too late. time would not wait or stop because of his determination. While the world moved on, his ambition remained stubbornly stuck at that fleeting moment at the dawn of his journey. He seems to have calmed down, though. Let's go and check in.
When I look back at the past, I can remember the day of my forging like it was just yesterday. I once told him that I would pay any price to fulfill his wishes. Such was the debt I owed to him for giving me the gift of consciousness. But darkness and slaughter numbed the mind. Over time, I lost sight of the difference between gratitude and grudge. Not only did I fail to fulfill his ambition, I also defiled it.
You are finally seeing reality clearly.
Since we agreed to the terms of the bet, I will honor the agreement and release Ame no Mayuya. But I still cannot bring myself to forsake his ambition. It is the entire purpose for my existence. So, may I ask you to help me fulfill the ambitions of myself and my creator?
Hey! Now you're adding yours into the mix, too? Jeez, don't push your luck, mister.
It has to be done in this order. At least hear what I have to say. And if you don't agree, I will still release Ame no Mayuya as promised. My physical form, as well as the knowledge I possess, should still be of some value to you.
His attitude has grown a lot milder. What do you think, Kazuha? Should we give him a chance?
Let's hear it.
Thank you all. When I was first forged, my maker was already terminally ill. He told me that he had wanted me to have the grandest opening battle. Alas, after that, he never rose from his sickbed again. Nor have I ever had the chance to prove myself in battle since. My fights were devoid of any noble meaning. They were merely the next step in my never-ending journey. The next in a long line of transgressions. You are a fine warrior. I would like to request your hand in battle and experience a true duel between samurai.
Oh? And who would be the opponent?
I will release Ame no Mayuya and restore his consciousness. Perhaps after that, you can convince him to commit to a fight with you. He must have plenty of reasons to both hate me and desire a good fight.
Understood. Then let's start by waking him up and seeing if he has the stamina and will to fight.
I see. He used my body to inflict harm on others. I utterly despise him and his actions. But since he stayed true to your agreement by releasing me, he must still have some remaining semblance of honor. If a duel can help to set this state of affairs in order, I am willing to put myself forward. I do not wish to be a mere victim in this story.
There's no need to worry. We'll vouch for your innocence to the Tenryo Commission.
Thanks for your help. Who knows how this would have ended without your intervention.
All right, then let's move on. More Ronin could appear at any moment. We can't stay here. In any case, for a final duel, I think we should aim for a greater sense of ceremony.
This reminds Paimon a bit of the Crux Clash. Yep, we still can't let our guard down. Even now, Paimon has a sneaky sneaking suspicion that blade hasn't told us everything. Still, even if he's way past the point of redemption, it's hard not to feel a teensy bit sorry for him. Are you ready?
Ready? Okay. All right then. Successor of Ishin Art, Kaedahara Kazuha.
Successor of Amenoma art, Amenome Yuya.
Honored to cross blades with you.
It is my honor also.
One with nature. Into the wind.
Thank you for the experience. Although he appears battered and broken, in your hands it seems he's regained a glimmer of brilliance. His sense of savage cruelty has completely faded away. But that same sense of determination remains strong.
You also fought well. I'm sure he relished the experience. There are a few things that I shall leave him to tell you himself.
I must apologize to you for all that has transpired.
You need not seek my forgiveness, nor do I have the right to forgive you on your victim's behalf. It is too late for all of that.
I do not wish for forgiveness. I only hope that you will see my transgressions as mine alone, and not let them stain the legacy of Ishin art. I strayed far from the straight and narrow path, but the Ishin art still has a worthy successor in Kaedehara Kazuha. I beseech you, please understand this.
Yes, I too trust Mr. Kaedehara to do the right thing.
Thank you, successor of Amenoma art.
This blade has also told me that he has another wish. He would like to visit the Amenoma smithy. Maybe we can go back there together.
What does he want to go there for?
I'm not sure, but I think that all this is about to come to an end.
It's Yuya! You have returned!
I am sorry to have troubled you. It's all thanks to them that I was able to return safely.
A prized Ishin blade, turned weapon that controls the human mind. Considering their forging philosophy, this was indeed within the realm of possibility. This is a great pity. But I have some good news as well. Ryuji, from the Bonton Sango Detective Agency, tells me that they've found the missing Mr. Nagato.
Really? Is he okay?
Yes, badly wounded, but he will live. And now that Yuya is back, it seems like the final ending to this story is a happy one after all.
I think I know what you want to do.
What's wrong, Kazuha? Is the blade whispering in your ear again?
Yes. He said he wants to take control of me for a brief moment.
What? No way! Hasn't it learned its lesson?
He tells me that he's thought of another way to fulfill his maker's wish. And he assures me that he won't use my body for anything nefarious. I have decided to let him do it.
Guess there's nothing we can say to change your mind, huh?
Thank you. I will explain my reasons later. Okay. I am ready. Let us begin. Please, stay true to your promise.
My power is almost spent. Without him, my eventual demise is inevitable. But if I abandon the future to give everything I have in this moment, my physical form can be forged anew.
Everything? You mean...
Yes, the cost is my entire consciousness. You were right. There's nothing that I can accomplish now. But there's still a chance for Ishin art. Once remade, I will be a valuable resource for your studies. Ishin lives on, and its finest hour is yet to come. Even if I am not the one to prove its might to the Shogun, as long as it is an Ishin blade, crafted by Kaedehara hands, it will still fulfill his final wish. Thank you, son of the Kaedehara clan. Over the years, my real name has been forgotten by all. I'm ashamed to utter it, yet it remains strong in my mind. Kagotsurube Ishin. This name is now yours to keep.
Rest in peace.
So, that's why he said it had to be done in that order. His consciousness will disappear forever after fulfilling the bladesmith's wish.
Kagotsurube Ishin. It was the first time I ever heard his name. It seems like deep down he disapproved of his own actions, and thus chose to bury this name deep within his heart. Only in the final moments, before his consciousness faded, was he willing to entrust it to another.
Seems like he really wanted to fulfill his maker's wish.
The same fervent ambition that gave him the motivation to keep going forward also fueled the stubborn determination that blinded him to the path ahead. Speaking for myself, I'd rather see him recognize and atone for his mistakes than see him punished for them. I understand. Perhaps this is a flaw in my personality. I've always been captivated by grand aspirations. Hearing his wish to rival the divine light touched something inside of me, just as the sight of those who fought to repeal the Vision Hunt decree did. Your quest to face the gods and trace your sibling inspires me in the same way. After everything I've seen, perhaps these pursuits fascinate me a little more than they should.
Oh, Kazuha.
I will continue to support you from this point on. Know that you will have my assistance whenever you need it.
Wait, shouldn't we also go update Kujo Kamaji?
Oh, you're right. We need to tell him about the findings of our investigation. And it's also time to give him a response to the offer he made me.
What a pleasant surprise. I wouldn't mind staying You've returned. I hear that the issue has been resolved. Though this was a treacherous investigation indeed, we're most fortunate that no lives were lost. The Tenryou Commission has already attended to the danger at the warehouse. The investigation into Amanoma Yuya should conclude soon. I do not believe he will be charged with any crime.
Wow, you sure kept your ear to the ground.
Then we needn't recount all the details again. Now, as to your earlier offer, I wish to give you my answer. Please, take a look at this blade.
What's this?
Kagotsurube Ishin. A weapon crafted using a long-lost blade forging art of the Kaidahara clan. By means of a series of fortuitous events, I was able to recover and restore him. I also promised him that I will continue to study and pass on the secrets of Ishin art. And so, it looks like I will likely continue with my journey across the nations, learning more about this blade as I go.
I see. I understand.
The Kaidahara clan has always been a family of bladesmiths, so it is only proper for me to continue on this path. Were I to accept your goodwill, I may find myself embroiled in conflicts between the shogunate and Sangonomiya. That would not suit me.
You misunderstand. That was most certainly not our intent.
I am aware, but I still desire to continue walking my own path.
Very well. I can understand. Then let's pretend this offer was never raised. However, if you should ever change your mind or find yourself in need of the Shogunate's assistance, please do not hesitate to inform me.
Great. Thank you for your generosity.
Where will you travel to next, Kazuha?
I'll probably take to the seas with Captain Beto again for now. As for my next destination, let's see where the wind takes me.
blade!
Disappear! up here!
I'll keep this close.
if the Traveler is also unavailable? What am I supposed to do?
Well, that's your problem. It was your choice to get into this mess. Oh, but fortunately for you, it appears your savior has just arrived.
Hmm? Ah, Traveler. Great, you made it.
Well, it's not like you were ever really busy to begin with.
Sango? Compared to the Traveler, you're the one who has too much free time.
No, I'm very busy. I'm busy standing here. I have to stand here all day.
Even if it's a commission you're unwilling to take, your excuse is just pathetic. Yes, that's why I've asked you to come over. Allow me to explain. A key member of the Tenryou Commission has recently gone missing. No one has seen them, and their whereabouts are currently unknown. The Tenryou Commission has entrusted us to find this person discreetly because it would be a hassle for them to look for this person openly for a variety of reasons. Their name is...
Kujosara. That's right. The General has gone missing.
If the General was really missing, the Tenryou Commission would have flipped Inazuma on its head by now. And do you think they would only commission us for a case like that? Please ignore Sango's nonsense, Traveler. In fact, the missing person's name is Shikanoin Heizo. He works as a special detective at the police station. Although his rank is merely a doshin, he is quite competent and held in high regard by the police station.
Do they think he's more competent than me?
We get that you don't want to help Sango, but could you at least try not to make things more difficult here? Sorry, Traveler. Even though I accepted the commission, as you can see, Sango's less than thrilled to be involved in this case.
Nope, not even close. If you really want to know why, it's because I absolutely refuse to deal with that brat's nonsense. The only news that could make me happier than Shikanoin has gone missing would be Shikanoin has been missing for 100 years.
Needless to say, Sango and Heizo have a bit of a history. Well, it's a little more serious than that. According to Sango, Heizo was an obstacle in her path to the Temple of Truth.
Like a yappy dog that was constantly in the way.
Even though Heizo has a unique personality, he's actually a nice guy. Really, I've learned a lot from him. So I can't just ignore this case, even if Sango doesn't approve. At the very least, I could entrust the commission to someone capable and trustworthy, like you, Traveler. Huh? No, it's not like that. Listen, I'll pay the entire amount originally promised by the Tenryou Commission, and I'll even personally throw in some additional funds. I'm really hoping you can take this commission, Traveler. If Heizo truly is in danger, I know he'll be safer with you by his side. Actually, we get along great, but Sango has always asked me to keep my distance and not to act like I know him in public settings. So, when people ask, I usually just say I've met Shikanoin a few times. If it hadn't been for today's incident, well, let's not get into that. Anyway, could you please help look for him? Well, that's about all I have to tell you. Oh, please take this commission letter from the police station. If you find Heizo, return there and report back to them.
Oh, it's you, the captain of Swordfish 2? My name is Shibata. I'm in charge of the watch here. May I inquire as to what the captain needs? So his name is Shikanoin Heizo, huh? Yes, I'm familiar with the detective. He used to stroll around the area. Her Excellency had assigned me to keep a close eye on him at the time, fearing that he would do something unpleasant, but I eventually realized that he acted more like he was on a trip or something. Come to think of it, I believe he was recently spotted in the area east of the Sangonomiya Shrine. Please feel free to go there and take a look for yourself.
Come on, you guys. I'm nothing but a poor tourist with empty pockets. Please, you can just let me go.
Just shut up and stay put. Ha! My blade!
No one escapes my sight!
See no more! How's this? Finally, Wind blade! You're open! You're open! You're open! Disappear!
Well, well, look who it is. I was wondering who could be valiant enough to wipe the floor with these guys so easily. Turns out it was the distinguished traveler. Really, I can't thank you enough. Of course I was aware of you long before you arrived in Inazuma. Though the Sakoku decree managed to keep the country locked up, it wasn't able to stop the incredible stories about you. Every day, all of those little stories would come scurrying over to my desk, like files with little feet. I was actually thinking about going to meet you once I wrapped up the business at hand. Who would have guessed that you'd show up first? I got so excited I nearly forgot to introduce myself. Ahem. The name's Shikanoin Heizo, Special Detective of the Tenryou Commission. It's a pleasure to meet you, Traveler. I wish you all the best on your journey through Teyvat, by the way. Huh. I guess that means I've taken over as the main character in your story today. I've always heard that you take commissions from all kinds of people, helping everyone out with everything you can imagine. So now it's my turn to take your help, huh? Don't mind if I do. That was already obvious to me. It's no coincidence that you've arrived here. Because that would be the stuff of an epic novel. The two protagonists of the story both travel to Watatsumi Island by chance and cross paths as if by fate. The traveler from afar heroically rescues the weak and defenseless detective from the clutches of the ruthless Nobushi. Traveler, you are so dreamy. Unfortunately, though, I don't believe in coincidences. So, guessing you came to me on the police station's commission, didn't you? I'm a detective. Can you guess what gave it away? Sounds like you already have some ideas about the work of a detective. Let me ask you this. What's that your little sidekick is holding? If I'm not mistaken, it's a commission letter from the police station.
What? Paimon's just here to take a look. And hey, who are you calling a little sidekick? Paimon was worried he might be in danger, so Paimon came to help. Why are you two staring at Paimon? Is Paimon not supposed to be here?
Yeah, I'm also just taking a look.
He can look, but you can't.
Oh, come on. Don't be like that. After all, this is the first time I've seen a voice. I must admit, I'm most intrigued.
Huh? Voice? What are you talking about?
A vision is an external magical focus, right? Well, similarly, a voice is an external voice box. I've heard that the Traveler isn't very talkative, but given how chatty you are, you must be his voice, right?
That sounds awful! Paimon's not somebody's voice! Paimon's emergency food! Wait! Paimon's so upset she can't think straight! Paimon is Paimon! How dare you give Paimon such a terrible nickname? We came here to rescue you, but you actually opened the cage yourself. You were only pretending to be captured by the Nobushi, weren't you? Pretty suspicious if you ask Paimon. Come out with it, mister. What kind of schemes are you up to?
Sheesh. For someone who says they don't want to be a voice, you sure do talk a lot. Well, let me think for a moment. Yes, all this started a long time ago, during the war. Kujo Takayuki, who was head of the Tenryou Commission at the time, had secretly asked me to investigate the military capabilities of Sangonomiya. But I had already grown tired of the guy for a while, so I simply treated the trip as a paid vacation. I had heard that Watatsumi Island is really beautiful. As for the mission, I thought I'd just come up with some random excuses or whatever when I reported back. But guess what? The first night I arrived on Watatsumi Island, I had a dream. The dream contained only one message, an echo resounding from the depths of the earth that kept ringing in my ears, saying, "Something vital is missing on this island." Isn't that bizarre? Something vital has gone missing on this island. Has something evaporated into thin air? What could it be?
Paimon bets it must be something delicious. You know, because the soil of Watatsumi Island can't grow crops. There's a shortage of food here.
Oh. Food, huh? How about you, Traveler? What do you think is missing? You mean the Great Serpent? Well, that's an interesting answer. But the Electro Archon hasn't abandoned this place. Interestingly, I didn't have the same dream again after I left this place, so I became even more intrigued. Was this really just some random dream? Some people believe that dreams represent the Divine's helping hand, which I suppose is understandable. However, if you ask me, dreams have nothing to do with the gods. Instead, they are flashes of intuition. It was my intuition telling me that there was something important about this island that, poof, suddenly vanished. So I decided to accept this little commission from my intuition and investigate to see if I could come up with any compelling findings. Unfortunately, the investigation has had little progress up to this point. Who knows? I felt there was something peculiar about them, so I pretended to get captured to see if there were any leads that would surface. And that's when you showed up. Nah, don't worry about it. These guys were just a bunch of small fries. Besides, your arrival is much more important to me. I have a feeling you can help me find the answer to my dream. So how would you like to partner up on this one? We can work together to solve the mystery. Yes, of course, I understand. But let me ask one more question. Did the police station say they are looking for me because of something important? Well, then it's probably nothing major. Most likely they're short on staff or something petty like that, and they happen to remember their model employee. So since we're already here, why don't we just solve this puzzle together? Once everything is settled, I'll gladly accompany you back to the police station, or anywhere else you'd like to go. What do you think? It's a deal then, partner. So, let's get started, shall we? First, we can search the camp for clues.
Hey, isn't this Crystal Meru? Oh, what's the shiny thing? Oh, it's a Sango Pearl!
So, have you found anything? Yes, I've found pretty much the same. And there really are a lot.
Aren't these all super expensive? Oh, these must be the valuable things that went missing from the island! That's it! The Nobushi must have stolen them all!
I don't know if I'd go that far. The Nobushi would be very hard-pressed to find many opportunities to get their hands on commodities like these.
Huh? What do you mean? Did the Nobushi gather all this themselves?
No, that's unlikely. Crystal marrow is a rare material for crafting weapons, and Sango pearls are an even more precious commodity. Here's what I think. Due to Watatsumi's poor soil, the island's economy is quite fragile and heavily reliant on the trade of these special resources. So, it's absolutely vital that they keep them under lock and key and well out of the Nobushi's reach. Which means they got lucky with a huge batch like this. My guess is they ambushed a caravan. If we go ask around the Sangonomiya Shrine, we can find out if there have been any recent instances of caravans being plundered. Perfect. I knew you'd be a huge help.
Well, duh! The Traveler is Paimon's companion after all.
Blade! Yeah! With the wind! I'll keep this close.
Captain. I see you found the detective.
Watatsumi Island sure is a beautiful place. I don't think I could ever leave.
You can stay as long as you like, granted you don't cause any trouble, that is. Her Excellency has stated that all friendly visitors are welcome. Incidents of stolen goods? Not that I'm aware of. Her Excellency has recently launched several measures to boost the economy, including the development of trade routes and establishing our own caravans. Troops have also been deployed to protect them, so it is only reasonable to assume that the current trade routes are already very safe. Any looting or theft would be practically unthinkable.
That's strange. Then where did the Nobushi get those goods from?
Huh? You mean you found goods of unknown origin?
Yep, and it's all Sango pearls and crystal marrow, so we know it's local.
Could there have really been a theft that hasn't been reported? That shouldn't be the case. Well, perhaps you could go ask Todoroki. He's responsible for the caravans and is usually in the village at night preparing the goods. If something has happened, he should know about it.
Great. Thank you for all the info. Let's go.
Hey, Traveler! It's been a while. I've missed you. Why didn't you inform me that you'd be coming over today?
Ah, General Goro.
You're dismissed, Shibata. You may go about your other duties while I catch up with the Traveler.
Yes, General Goro.
I overheard you discussing a case of stolen goods. Is that right?
That's right! We found a lot of Watatsumi's valuable products in a Nobushi camp!
I see. So you've come to ask if we know of any relevant cases. Well, I'm ashamed to say that, yes, the caravans have been plundered. And not just once, I'm afraid. We had already dispatched additional forces to protect the caravans, yet the crooks still managed to get away with the goods.
And you're concerned that if this kind of news were to get out, it would undermine the confidence of other caravans. So you didn't make it public, and instead kept the news to only a select few.
That's correct. I never expected you to be so concerned about Watatsumi's affairs, Detective Heizo.
Just a force of habit, really. As a detective, I notice these kinds of things.
Oh, so you two already know each other?
Actually, I've only heard of Detective Heizo from the soldiers' reports. We've never met in person.
Darn it. You're right. Now that you mention it, I've been on Watatsumi Island all this time and still haven't properly introduced myself. Man alive, please forgive me. It's a pleasure to meet you, General Goro. I'm Shikanoin Heizo of the Tenryo Commission.
Yes, it's a pleasure to meet you too. I'd like to express my gratitude to you for stepping in and helping recover those goods.
Don't mention it. You never know what you'll find when you're out for a stroll. But if the source of the problem is not addressed, I'm afraid this sort of situation will continue cropping up for you.
Yes, of course. Not only have we reassured the affected caravans, but we also dispatched personnel to investigate the culprits. The reports indicated that the stolen goods were being delivered to a merchant of the International Trade Association named Godot. It all seems pretty unusual. We suspect that there are bigger players behind Godot, and that their target is none other than Watatsumi Island's valuable resources. But unfortunately, it would be difficult for us to investigate further, given that...
Given that, Rito, the island where the International Trade Association is located is not part of your territory, yes. They have cleverly picked their base of operations.
I can see you catch on quickly, Detective Heizo.
It's my guess that you're telling us this because you're going to ask us to assist you in finding who's behind all this, right?
You're always thinking one step ahead. Yes, those were exactly my intentions. And of course, we will prepare a generous reward for you. The recent end of the war, trade and commerce have now become an important component of Watatsumi Island's development. Ensuring safety of the trade routes is critical, and we can't afford any further incidents. So, will you please help Watatsumi Island, Detective Heizo?
I'm willing to assist, but it all depends on what he wishes.
Great! With both Detective Heizo and the Traveler on the case, I'm sure it'll be solved in no time. The situation is now in your capable hands. I look forward to hearing your report when you get back.
All right, we'll take care of it. Traveler, let's go discuss where to head from here.
trying to get away from Goro so he can't overhear us, are you?
Very perceptive. Seems even Paimon has her moments. Let me ask you, do you believe in intuition?
Huh? Intuition? Where are you going with this?
My intuition tells me that General Goro is lying.
What? How could you say that? Although he did seem a little on the serious side today, but Goro's a good guy!
Good people can be deceptive, too. After all, everyone has their secrets. Well, in my opinion, the timing of his appearance was a little too coincidental. Sangonomiya's soldiers have been keeping an eye on me for the entire time I've been on Watatsumi Island, yet I had never seen General Goro even once. But today he came out and met with us, and even commissioned us to investigate a case.
Maybe that's because the Traveler is here today, and Goro thinks he's more capable.
Really? Huh. Then that makes things even more peculiar. If there are powerful players behind this case, and he needs to draw upon external support, then he should have taken action sooner rather than wait until today. A more plausible explanation is that the items we discovered are linked with some unspeakable secret, and he had to intervene to prevent us from digging any deeper. Then he put up a smokescreen to mislead us. I surmise that investigating the merchant Godot on Rito will yield no results.
Whoa, are you serious? But this is all just a hunch you have, right?
Actually, there is another key factor behind my reasoning, though you may not believe me. I sense something special about Goro.
Something special?
Yes. Whatever is missing on this island, I sense it in him.
Whoa! Hold it right there! Are you saying Goro's a thief? As in he took something valuable?
It's not that simple. I can't fully explain it. It's just my intuition. Sure, I trust your judgment, but perhaps you're overlooking someone else, the true leader here. It's simple. We should just investigate whatever it is they're trying to hide from us. And what were we planning to do just before Goro showed up?
Oh, we were going to talk to the leader of the caravans. Yeah, someone named Todoroki.
Bingo. There's no time to lose. Let's go talk to this Todoroki.
Todoroki. The shipment has arrived and is ready for inspection.
Good, let's go.
Hey, it's Todoroki!
Shh, keep quiet. Let's follow him and see where he leads us.
Your intel was spot on. When we arrived, the Nobushi were all still asleep. We captured them all, and the goods were retrieved and brought back here.
I'll take a look. Everything seems in order. Good work.
It's nothing. Thanks to the efforts of your caravan, the price of grain in the village has decreased.
That's right. And who would have thought that the injuries we sustained during the war would have such a lingering effect on our bodies? But thankfully, you also brought back some life-saving medicine.
Things are improving thanks to the help from those up top. Oh, by the way, what is the state of the village's inventory? Make sure that it's confirmed tonight. I have to leave tomorrow morning after I go to the Sangonomiya Shrine and get instructions from General Goro.
Don't worry. We've already prepared the list. Just follow us.
Huh? The soldiers from Sangonomiya seized the Nobushi's stolen goods? But didn't Goro say all the stolen goods were headed to the International Trade Association? Glaze lilies? What are these doing here? Shouldn't it be crystal marrow or something?
And Todoroki said he'll get instructions from Goro tomorrow.
Whoa! Chingshin? Paimon was expecting to find Sango pearls.
Now's our chance to look around and...
This box is... Huh? What are all these plants and flowers? Oh, there's a small note here.
So, did you find anything?
Wow! Look at all the Chingshin! And glaze lilies, too! There are also tons of other plants and flowers Paimon doesn't know here. Weird.
These are valuable raw ingredients for producing medicine. If these few crates were to be imported from Rito, the price would be jaw-dropping. On top of that, these items seem to lack a tax clearance certificate, meaning that they were most likely smuggled. Yes, very interesting. Now, where did the Nobushi get these goods? How about you? Did you find anything else? Foreign Trade Association? I've never heard of such an organization in Rito. And if it's regarding foreign trade, then smuggling is an even more likely possibility. All right. In which case, I have a rough hypothesis. First, we...
Huh? Who goes there?
Oh no! We've been spotted!
Huh? Wait, Captain? Is that you?
Oh, so it's you, Captain. You had me worried there. We almost mistook you for bandits. Captain, do you remember us? During the war, I was in the field hospital with Masashi. Teppei brought you to see us and helped find medicine for us.
Hey, come on now. The captain wouldn't forget. I gotta tell you, Captain, we all miss you. We haven't seen you ever since the end of the war. When we heard that you were coming here, we just assumed you were only going to see General Goro and Her Excellency. The guys are all really hoping to see you. We're fine. You don't have to worry about us, Captain.
No, you're not fine. Captain, you may not be aware, but Masashi previously fainted on the front lines. The doctor thought that it might be a neurological condition caused by overstimulated emotions. It's pretty serious. According to the doctor, if it hadn't been for the medication he's been taking, he would have developed dementia. And that was assuming the best case scenario.
You're one to talk. Don't forget why I fainted in the first place. It's because I heard that you got yourself killed by an arrow. I couldn't handle all the emotion. Later, I found out that he'd been shot in the buttocks, and it was only a mild injury. I had an emotional breakdown for nothing.
What do you mean for nothing? I got shot not by one, but 2 arrows in a row. The first arrow was to the left cheek, and the second arrow was also to the left. And because the arrows were poisonous, the wound still hasn't completely healed yet. I have to apply ointment every day, and I'm constantly worried it might reopen while I sleep.
Look on the bright side. At least we're still alive.
Yeah, I suppose you're right. But enough about us. What brings you here, Captain?
Oh, these goods were all seized from the hands of Nobushi and treasure hoarders. Todoroki was the one who provided us with the intel. He mentioned there were bandits here and there, so we went and took care of them while also confiscating the goods.
By the way, Captain, you still haven't met Todoroki, have you? He's the one we're working for now. Her Excellency recently announced plans to stimulate the economy and created the caravans, with Todoroki at the helm.
Yeah, he's proven to be quite capable. Even though he was just a farmer before, he's now successfully running the caravans. And his 2 sons were also our brothers in arms. Both received a special medal of honor from General Goro, which is quite remarkable, don't you think?
So, as injured veterans, we've been reassigned to Todoroki. He's the one who gives us orders and pays our salaries now. What do they call that again?
It's called changing careers, dummy.
Ah, right. Changing careers. Anyway, I think the whole caravan thing is wonderful. Our region wasn't very prosperous to begin with, and the land can't grow any crops. We have to pay a hefty price just to get basic food from outside. I can't even imagine trying to maintain and feed an army like we did during the war.
I see. I think I understand the general situation now. May I ask where the apprehended criminals are?
Oh, and you are?
Ah, I see. The captain's friend. It should be okay to tell you then. We apprehended all the culprits and escorted them to a temporary location not far from here. Unfortunately, Masashi and I have other duties tonight and won't be able to take you there. Why don't you wait for a moment and I'll find someone else to show you the way.
I'm pretty sure I've already got a grasp on what's going on. All I need now is to confirm it with the apprehended bandits. Let's go. Are you still a little confused? Let me help connect the dots. This whole thing was actually quite similar to a case I once worked on previously. It was a case involving the trade of prohibited items, and they employed an old trick to execute the deal. The culprit would first go strolling down the street until they knocked over a pedestrian on purpose.
Sir, please forgive us, sir. We are nothing more than petty thieves.
Sir, what do I look like? A commissioner? Does my friend here look like a commissioner to you?
Officer! Officer!
First, I'm gonna need to ask you a few questions.
Sure. Go ahead, ask anything.
The soldiers discovered many valuable goods in your camp. The goods don't appear to be from around here, so the question is, where did they come from?
Oh, the goods? Right, we picked them up at the beach.
You picked them up?
Well, no, we, actually stole them.
Be honest now. Tell me the whole story.
Yes, sir. I mean, officer. We took those goods from a small merchant ship just off the beach, but we didn't exactly steal them. You see, the ship's guards all took off running the moment they saw us. They abandoned the goods, and we simply came and picked them up. But next thing we know, a group of soldiers arrives, and we're all apprehended. Talk about bad luck. We didn't even have a chance to stash away the goods before we got caught.
You say that the merchant ship's guards fled without putting up a fight. You expect me to believe that?
He just assumed they were scared witless and didn't have the guts to fight. I'm not bragging or anything, but our boss is pretty intimidating. With his massive muscle and strength, he could scare anyone.
You really expect us to believe all this?
No, you gotta believe me. Just the other day, we scared off an entire squad of soldiers. When they noticed us, they went running and dropped their goods. I swear. I still remember seeing tons of Songo pearls and crystal marrow on that load. All nice and shiny, too. Whew, it was amazing. Unfortunately, a bunch of pirates came later and snatched those goods. It just happened that our boss had diarrhea that day and couldn't hold off the pirates. This luck of ours.
Wait a tick. Pirates?
Yep, no doubt about it. They came on a massive ship, and their captain was a pretty lady with an eye patch. We had no idea how powerful she was. It was like boom, boom, thud. Only took 3 hits before she knocked out the boss.
A pretty lady with an eye patch?
Oh. Does this description remind you of someone, Paimon?
No! Doesn't remind Paimon of anyone.
Okay. And how about you? Really? Okay, I'll take that as a no, then. It appears that the situation is just as I suspected. Todoroki is striking a shady deal with a group of pirates, while General Goro appears to be assisting with the cover-up.
What? How could that be?
Todoroki said that he'd be going to Sangonomiya early tomorrow morning to get Goro's instructions before the caravan leaves. Now is the time to address any doubts you may have. Tomorrow morning will be our moment to confront them. Hopefully, my final question will be answered then as well. The question of what important thing this island is missing. I can feel some connection to the question in Goro, Todoroki, and even to Kuda and Masashi. Hopefully, we'll finally have an answer tomorrow. Let's get some rest. I'll see you at Sangonomiya tomorrow morning.
Who are you?
Hello, Todoroki. I'm Shikanoin Heizo, Special Detective of the Tenryou Commission. I believe you've been manipulating large-scale illegal trades for some time now. Mind if we talk about that for a bit?
You can't just go around spewing such nonsense, young man.
And what if I'm not talking nonsense?
Ridiculous. I don't have time to listen to this. Get out of here, you little brat.
I know I'm on the younger side compared to you, Todoroki, so I'm sure you must have heard the old saying. Off the scale, some goods only weigh a couple pounds, but on the scale, they weigh more than 1,000. So the question is, do you want to put your goods on the scale or not?
What are you trying to say?
Well, nothing. All I want to hear is you personally confirming what we already know to be the truth.
Masashi! Tokuda! Arrest these people!
Huh? Todoroki, what's wrong?
Who dares to cause trouble at Sangonomiya Shrine? Huh? Wait, it's... Captain? What are you doing?
These crooks are trying to pry into the secrets of Watatsumi. We mustn't let them go.
But, no. There must be some kind of misunderstanding. Todoroki, this is the captain of Swordfish 2, one of our own.
It doesn't matter who they are. Remember what General Goro told you? A long-term goal of Watatsumi is to revive its trade and commerce. And since you have been assigned to work with me, it's my orders that count around here. I don't care if they were your captain. Would you dare disobey orders?
What do we do?
Well, what are you waiting for? All right, I see how it is. If you two won't do it, I will.
I really hoped it wouldn't come to this. But... here we go.
Wait! Everyone, stand down!
General Goro! You're here.
My apologies. Traveler, Detective Heizo. I wasn't telling you the truth. Todoroki, the Traveler here is the hero who saved Watatsumi Island. Without him, Watatsumi Island would never have found the peace it has today. We mustn't raise our weapons against him.
How could you be so naive, General Goro? If we let them go free, then who's to say the Shogunate won't come after us tomorrow? If the Shogunate decides to investigate, we won't be able to hide the truth.
I wouldn't allow them to take you, Todoroki.
Let's not kid ourselves. If going to jail could solve the problem, I would go and turn myself into the Tenryou Commission right now. The question is, what are we going to do with the goods? Will you be able to keep them? Not to mention the chance of astronomical fines. Can you afford that? Goro, we both know that Watatsumi Island is a barren land. Plant 100 radishes here and maybe only 3 would grow. And those 3 combined would still be smaller than just 1 carrot imported from elsewhere. You can't grow food or medicinal herbs here, and if we buy them from Rito, we pay exorbitant taxes. My eldest son died fighting on the battlefield. But do you know how my second son died? He died because there was no medicine to treat him. You awarded both of them medals of honor, but did that save their lives? Can medals heal Tokuda and Masashi's wounds? No. It was the medicine that I got that saved their lives. If we detain them today, the Shogunate will never know what we've done. Besides, we're only a few months away now. We will set them free once the new bill is passed in just a few months, and everything will be okay. None of what happened here will be mentioned again, and life on Watatsumi Island will continue to improve.
I understand, Todoroki, but they won't...
I can trust the Traveler won't, but the detective here is a Tenryou Commission officer. Forget it. You're the general. I'm just a radish farmer.
It's a new commodity tax bill currently being drafted by the Kanjo Commission. The bill exempts taxes on goods that are in short supply on Watatsumi Island. Once the bill's introduced, we'll be able to buy commodities that we need from regular marketplaces.
Oh, I see. Man alive. I wish I had known sooner. In that case, how about we put your fears at ease and I'll stick around here a little longer. You know, until the bill is introduced.
Detective Heizo, are you saying that...
You mean you're willing to stay here, young man?
Come on, you two. What's with the strange looks? You've been keeping me under close surveillance, haven't you? Surely you must have noticed that aside from being a detective, I'm also an ordinary tourist who likes to enjoy good scenery. I believe that after the new commodity bill is passed, there will be more and more traffic between the two sides, and more people will be coming to visit Watatsumi Island. I have to take the opportunity now and enjoy this place while I still have it all to myself. Before long, tourists will start pouring in.
Thank you, Detective Heizo. On behalf of the people of Watatsumi.
My pleasure. But one good turn deserves another, does it not?
Oh, you mean there's something you wish to request?
I suppose you could say I'm from the Shogunate, but the traveler next to me isn't. As far as I know, he's planning to visit other nations soon, and it is unclear if he will return to Narukami Island or not. Therefore, there's no need to limit his freedom, right? I'm sure no one else will hear of what happened today. Am I right, traveler?
Well, it's settled then. He will always be an important partner to Watatsumi, and I would never dream of limiting his freedom. So please, don't worry, Detective Hazo.
I'll hold you to that. But if I ever find out you've lied to me again, there's a chance I'll lose my cool.
I'm sorry for not telling you the truth earlier. It's a serious matter, and I didn't want outside parties to become involved. But today, I realized my poor judgment. How could I possibly hide anything from Detective Hazo and the Traveler?
I'm glad you understand now. But, in all honesty, I'm the one who should be thanking you. It's because of you that I was finally able to reach an answer. After all, nothing makes a detective happier than putting a case to rest.
Ah, I understand now. You really are an interesting person, Detective Hazo.
No, I'm afraid you don't quite get what I mean.
I'm sorry?
Wait! Paimon gets this one! It's the answer to your question, right? The one about the thing you sensed coming from Goro and the others. Now you figured it out!
What? The thing you sensed coming from me? But I always have excellent personal hygiene.
No, not like that!
Hey, traveler, could I talk to you for a moment? Besides, I haven't had a chance to thank you yet. Hey, there you are. Come here, look. It's beautiful, isn't it? Watatsumi Island. It's remarkable how such a barren land can give life to such wonderful and stunning scenery. To be honest, I am grateful to you for this trip. Before you arrived, I was running around like a headless chicken. Even if I happened to find out what was going on here, I wouldn't have been able to uncover any concrete information without you present. I'm just sorry that I promised I'd accompany you back. It appears that I won't be able to do so for the time being. So please, cover for me in the meantime, okay? It's all in the past now. Let's just chalk it up as an intriguing experience I had on my trip here. Besides, that's not what I wanted to investigate anyway. Yes. Everyone you led me to and everything they said brought me closer to the answer. And now I finally get it. Watatsumi Island is an ancient land where the soil is poor and many crops do not grow because it's lacking a certain thing. But what the inhabitants of this land do have is bravery. They were courageous enough to stand up and resist the gods and accomplish what they knew could not be done. This is yet another instance in which that certain thing shines. That missing element. That certain thing is what I sensed present in Goro, Todoroki, Tokuda, and Masashi. Which is the true vitality of this land. I guess I was mistaken when I declared that something was missing. That something from this island had evaporated into thin air. Because even something that evaporates is not gone. It's still there, just in a different state of being. When water is heated by fire, it evaporates and eventually finds its place in the sky. Similarly, when the land was harmed, its vitality evaporated and eventually found its place among the inhabitants. This is the final answer I've been searching for. Anyway, thanks again. You know, even though we just met, I wish you could be my partner all the time. Call me greedy, I guess. But, of course, I know that's impossible. You have your own journey to complete. So I'll just keep doing what I can. Hopefully keeping my memories from evaporating safe and sound in my mind. That way, I'll always be able to remember these beautiful things. The beauty of Watatsumi Island. The people who are full of life and vitality. And you two, who were by my side.
Well, would you look who's here? Looks like it's going to be a day to remember. Guys, look who the sea washed up!
Ahoy there, traveler! So Captain really did invite you to join the homecoming celebration.
Hey, I heard that you took care of another crisis while you were in Inazuma. Are the rumors true?
That's what I heard too. Thanks to you, Inazuma's Vision Hunt decree was finally put to an end. Well done, traveler.
Captain's got quite the eye for people. She said she was sure that your trip to Inazuma would stir up some waves. And sure enough...
Look at you, being so modest. We all know what you did to protect Liyue Harbor.
I've heard that they tell stories about you in Mondstadt, too. The honorary knight. Pretty impressive.
I'd say someone of your caliber would be right at home in the cracks. Right, sailors?
That's right. Wow, I'm getting excited just thinking of being the Traveler's crewmate. Hey, what do you say we arm wrestle?
I was worried you'd be too busy to show up.
Oh, Captain on deck!
Captain, we were just trying to talk the Traveler into joining the crew.
Yeah, come on, Captain Beidou. Surely you've got a way to get the Traveler on board.
Oh, he's on board right now for the celebration, isn't he?
Yeah, but just one celebration together is not enough. You know what we mean, Captain.
All right, I get it now. There is something special about you, Traveler. You earned everyone's respect, myself included. So it goes without saying that the Crux would be honored to have a crew member such as yourself.
No doubt about that.
But then again, a hero like yourself doesn't just set off on a journey without some bigger purpose in mind. So should a hero really drop what they're doing just to spend day after day drifting at sea with us? Well, if that were the case, then the Crux, known for always moving forward to the next horizon, would instead be holding someone back.
Right. I guess we didn't think that part through.
Remember, rather than seeking out strong members to join us, you should be focusing on making yourselves the strongest that you can be. If we are powerful, they will come to us. Isn't that why everyone here chose to come aboard in the first place?
Yes. A strong sailor is always looking for a sturdy ship.
I guess I almost forgot the first lesson you ever taught me. Thanks for the reminder, Captain.
Just be sure you all keep that in mind. Now, there's no more need to hound the Traveler, as you were. The Traveler and I have something to discuss. I'm glad you came. Welcome back aboard. Hey, don't mention it. As a host, it would be pretty embarrassing to continue letting my guests be put on the spot like that. I can't go getting too caught up in my own reputation, though. That's certainly not how the Crux made it to where we are today. As the head of the fleet, my task is to keep us on the right course, no matter how turbulent the seas may become. But then again, the crew isn't usually this riled up. It's not that they're arrogant, they're just bubbling with ambition, that's all. Their excitement today comes from their great respect for you, both your strength and your character. So please, don't take it the wrong way. Oh, is that so? Well, it just so happens that we're doing some recruitment and training for new crew members while we're back. It'll be a first-rate chance to learn the life of a sailor. Since you're interested, why don't you come along and experience a sailor's life firsthand? I'm curious to see if you'll take the sea by storm in the same way you have on land. Good. Come with me. I've got something interesting for you to see. Chief Mate Juza's breaking in the newcomers, but I think we can spare you the tedium of that. After this, the new crew members will be arranged into 2 teams for more specialized training, according to their own aptitudes and the needs of the fleet. One team will learn comprehensive survival skills, including maritime emergency rescue, marine meteorology, psychological counseling, and so on. They will serve as the support team for the fleet, ensuring safe navigation. That's why we call them the Shield of the Crux. That's right. You catch on quick. As one might expect, we call the other team the Spear of the Crux, because they'll be learning about naval warfare. They'll make up the armed portion of our crew. Also, they're responsible for handling the fleet's cargo deals. So, what do you think? Which team is for you? You truly are an adventurer at heart. Let's start with the fundamentals for any armed crew member. Basic boat handling. Follow me. These are some older skirmish boats that we keep on the Alcor as backup. Although they've been made redundant by newer models now, they're still fully kitted out. They're perfect for when we need to do simulated battles as part of crew training. Disappointed? So this isn't quite on the scale that you had in mind, huh? To be honest, the Alcor going into battle is the last thing I'd ever want to see. In fact, out of all the confrontations we've ever had, almost all were resolved by negotiation. Only when negotiations fail do we consider deploying our armed fighters and skirmish boats, and they alone are enough to handle most situations. The only reason the Alcor would ever need to open fire would be if it were a fight to the death. The Alcor serves only 2 purposes: to deter or to destroy. We are an armed fleet with a strong sense of justice, not war-hungry lunatics. We're very careful about determining when to use force and exactly what level of force to use. All of this to say that mastering a small attack craft is quite enough for new crew members. Do you have any experience piloting small armed vessels? You mean you can do the jobs of a helmsman and a gunner simultaneously? Wow, that's quite an achievement. Even in the Crux, there are few who can do that. Seems like you're a natural. In that case, I'll skip the basics on how to operate your craft. The goal of this exercise is simple. Steer your skirmish boat along the prescribed route and return here within the time limit. You can start when you're ready. I'll be waiting here so I can observe your skills. Nicely done. That was a joy to watch. Perfect timing on the turns, you kept your craft stable on the straightaway. It was like watching a well-rehearsed show. All right. It's high time I introduced you to some of the more serious business that the Crux takes on. Come with me. We're going to Liyue Harbor. You may be aware that as an armed fleet, the Crux is kinda like the maritime equivalent of a guard for hire. We work as an armed carrier, earning our keep by successfully delivering the goods entrusted to us from A to B. Aside from that, though, there is also one other important way we make income.
Actually, it's trading. In certain kinds of goods.
Hey, my hotshot accountant. Nice of you to join us.
Cut it out, boss. Juza sent me here with a message. He says preparations are now underway. If you give me the all clear, I'll head straight over.
Okay. Be careful. Well, she has something to take care of. Mora Grubber was right, though. The other important side to our business, the less official side, is doing exactly what merchants do. Importing here, exporting there. The only difference between us and regular merchants is that our transactions aren't entirely above board. You'll see what I mean by that shortly. I'm taking you to see one such transaction for yourself. Come on, let's go meet our trading partner for the day.
Fresh seafood! Fresh seafood! Catch it while you can!
What do you have?
Hello there! Here at Nay's Professional Fishmongers, we've got everything you could ask for. So what do you need?
I want a bass head with all the teeth removed. If there's a single tooth in there, I don't want it.
Huh? You know bass have pharyngeal teeth, right? In the throat? How do you expect me to get all those out?
Then I'll have a bass trunk with 2 swim bladders. Again, if it's short by 1 swim bladder, it's not the bass I want.
You're not making this easy for me. 1 bass means 1 swim bladder. Afraid that's not up to me.
Okay, then I'll take a bass tail with scales that are yellow on the outside, black on the inside. Also, it's gotta have a total of 81 scales. That's 7 times 7, no more, no less.
What kind of fish scales are yellow outside and black inside? You sure this is a fish you're talking about? In any case, you can try all you want, but 7 times 7 is never gonna get you 81. Pardon my asking, but you're not a fish expert, are you? I'm sorry, ma'am, but I'm afraid I don't have any of the things you're looking for. Look, I'm a professional. So are most of the people I serve. I can accommodate anything they ask for. Seems you two are amateurs. So I'm sorry, but you'll have to go someplace else.
Anywhere you'd recommend?
Like I said, Nay's Professional Fishmongers is for professionals. For amateurs, the place to go to would be Wise Amateur Fishmongers.
I bet you're wondering why that guy was saying he didn't have what we wanted. That was just the first step in the transaction to confirm our identity. The real deal will come later.
Fresh seafood! Fresh seafood! Come take a look!
Is this Wise Amateur Fishmongers?
That's the one. We have all kinds of amateur stuff here. The more amateur, the more of it we got. What would you like?
We'd like a bass head.
No problem. Ours are all toothless, mind you.
And a bass trunk.
Oh, no problem. I'll stick an extra swim bladder in there for you. On the house.
And a tail.
Sure thing. I'll paint the scales yellow on the outside and black on the inside, so you can tell at a glance, this ain't no ordinary fishtail. If it's 7 times 7 you want, I can do you 81, 138, or even 648. It's up to you.
Great. I like your style. We have a deal.
I appreciate your patronage. Please, take your order to our warehouse manager over there. A real amateur if I've ever met one. Proud to have you as a customer. No, we don't have the fish here. All fish sold at Wise Amateur Fishmongers are still swimming in the sea. Once we get the order in from the customer, we go fish it out for them. The warehouse handles that side of things. Pay first, then we bring you the goods. That way you get the freshest catch.
Are you two here to collect your order, huh, Bade?
Yes, sir. We're here about that bass.
I didn't expect you to come in person, but we still need to follow procedure. The bass you want is not a standard specimen. Our fishermen need to wait for the right moment to catch it. You know the rules, I take it?
Of course.
Oh, well, as you know, timing and location are everything when it comes to fishing. You have to wait till all the conditions are just right. That means the tide, the moon, and the wind. So, let me ask you this. When will the tide come in?
The fishing song will sound out at midnight.
How drunk will the moon be before the party's over?
It won't stop while the Star of Death shines.
I see, yes. Which way will the sea breeze be blowing?
The breeze should be bound for Guyan.
All right, then. Well received. I'll go and make arrangements.
Great. I think that wraps up everything we needed to do in Liyue Harbor. Let's head back and wait for the delivery. I thought we were pretty clear, weren't we? The 3 people we just met are our business partners. Nay's Professional Fishmongers and Wise Amateur Fishmongers are just cover names. The bass, obviously, is the code name for the goods. The numbers of teeth, swim bladders, and scales all represent different specifications. Meanwhile, the conversation I had with the warehouse keeper was the instructions for the deal itself. Let me translate it for you. Tonight at midnight, the deal will take place in Guyan Stone Forest. The Alcor will wait there as long as needed. As for what the actual goods are, well, you'll see tonight. What if I were to say yes? What would you do then? Thank you. But don't worry, everything will be fine. I deeply value you as a friend, but ultimately, you're not with the Crux. I definitely don't want to cause you any trouble just because you hung out with me. So rest assured, we haven't broken any laws. At least not today.
Captain Beidou. You gave me quite the surprise when you showed up in person earlier today.
Well, my friend is visiting, so I wanted to show him how the Crux handles some of its important business.
I see. You two must be close.
You got that right. Now, down to business. Have you brought the goods?
Yep, all here. Please, feel free to take stock.
Stop! Nobody move! We have received certain information pertaining to a potential illegal business transaction at this location. Apologies, Captain Beidou, but I'm going to need to inspect those goods.
Oh? An illegal business transaction, you say? Well, all the goods are here. If you have any suspicions, please inspect them at your leisure.
Captain, everything's been checked. It's just a bunch of potatoes, flour, and so on. And all the paperwork checks out too.
Huh?
Everything's been checked thrice over. There's not a single contraband item here. The paperwork was approved by the Ministry of Civil Affairs and the tax declarations are all in order.
Looks like you've managed to clear everything up. I suppose we can put this down as a simple misunderstanding.
Yes, apologies. This was a mistake on our end. Come on, let's go.
Bravo, Captain Beidou. This was rather ingenious. Seems like your friend still has a little catching up to do.
I know you have a lot of questions. Come on, take a walk with me and I'll lay it all out for you.
Well, I'll leave you both to it. Captain Beidou, I look forward to doing business with you again. Take care.
You probably thought that there was some sort of nefarious business going on behind all the secrecy today. The truth is, that was exactly what I wanted the Ministry of Civil Affairs to believe. What you might not know is that I, as the leader of the Crux fleet, and you, the great hero of Liyue Harbor, have both been on the Ministry of Civil Affairs watch list for a long time. In other words, whenever you or I crop up in Liyue Harbor, it almost always draws their attention. Not that there's any animosity behind it, mind you. In their words, it's a security precaution to prevent people like us from causing unnecessary trouble. Oh, I have no qualms about that. They're just doing their job, keeping the land safe. But how does that saying go again? Ah, yes. Sometimes the closer you are to something, the less you can see. Did you figure it out yet? That's right. Mora Grubber, the accountant. With you, me, and a few sacks of potatoes and flour serving as a front, the deal she's overseeing on her end should go off without a hitch. After all, the Ministry of Civil Affairs sent the Millilith to us. Looking at the time, it should be any second now. Look, that's the signal. Tonight's real deal is officially done. Do you have any more questions? You're right. Never underestimate her. But as long as we don't take things too far, she won't look into it too closely. She knows that neither you nor I would do anything to harm Liyue. In any case, there's another higher-level watch list at the Ministry of Civil Affairs above the one we're on. It's top secret. Even I don't know whose names are on it. But I do know that the individuals and organizations on that list are the ones the Qixing are really wary of. I've gotten off topic. On some level, Ningguang and I are actually business partners too. Reason being, I'm the only one who can get her some of the more obscure treasures she wants. It's complicated. All you need to know is that what might be easily attainable for some people can often be a lifesaver for others who can't get their hands on it. That's where we come in. It's as simple as that. You still have some important things to take care of, don't you? As long as you don't know what I was referring to, you'll be safe. So, I'm sorry, but I can't tell you for now. Of course, if the day comes when you've traveled to every corner of the world, found your sibling, and neatly tied up all your loose ends along the way, you're welcome to come back here and I'll tell you all about it. You'll always be welcome in the Crux fleet. I hope I get to see you on board again someday.